All right, Corey, I'm going to take you through the Big Ten Western Division, and I'm going to read you a statement, and you can just respond. So I've posted these videos a couple times, and basically the phrase that we're playing off of is this the year that fill in the blank?
Okay.
Let's start at the very bottom with Northwestern. Is this the year that Northwestern posts 3 consecutive losing seasons? This has not happened since 2001, 2, and 3.
Absolutely, yes.
And the last time that Northwestern won a Big Ten championship, a share of one, was in 2000. Is this the year? Obviously not, based on your first response. Is this the year that Northwestern wins its first Big Ten championship since the year 2000?
Can I assume that these questions will get tougher? And can I also assume that when I answer a question, you'll tell me if you disagree? And if you don't respond, I'm just going to assume you agree with me.
Yes.
Okay.
And it would be Northwestern's first outright Big Ten title since 1995. Okay, on to Purdue. Is this the year that Purdue posts 3 consecutive winning seasons since 2002, 3, and 4?
No.
Okay, which makes the other null and void. Do you
What's
realize
the other one?
Well, I'm going in both directions, the positive and the negative. So for the positive, Purdue would be winning its first Big Ten championship since the year 2000.
I just don't know where the wins are going to. Like, I'm not saying that won't be a competitive team, but
yeah,
to think of them going 7-5 or 7-6 is just hard to. You're talking about regular season only. They go 6-6 and win a bowl game. Does that count as a winning season?
Yes, they have not had a winning season.
Okay.
The entire season. So 7-6 would get it done.
My guess is they're a 5-7 team.
Do you know when the last time Purdue won an outright Big Ten championship? 1929. All right, on to Illinois. Illinois, of course, won 8 games last season. Could Illinois win back-to-back, post-back-to-back 8-win seasons for the first time since 1989 and 90?
That's a tough one.
That's how bad their program's been.
Back-to-back 8-win seasons. If we're including the bowl game,
horrible.
I'm going to say yes. I think they can go 7-5 in the regular season, win a bowl game. Sure.
That's how bad Illinois has been.
How long has it been?
1990. 8 wins.
Yeah. And there were some good teams back in the 80s. Correct?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah.
Really good Illinois teams.
Right around that time when they reached their peak and then fell off the wagon.
Yeah, I think they'll win 8 games. They'll be right close. I don't know what the over-under on them is, but my guess is it's 7.5, 7, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Illinois last won a Big Ten championship in 2001.
Okay.
I remember it well. Okay, Nebraska. Could this be the year that Nebraska posts a winning season for the first time since 2016?
No.
6 consecutive losing seasons.
No. Wow. So you've agreed with me on every one so far?
Winning season. I think that they're probably going to go 6-6
and have a shot at a winning season in a bowl game. I'll say no, because I think there's a better chance of them going 5-7 than them going 6-6 and winning a bowl game together.
Do you realize what team has the longest, speaking of bowl games, the longest postseason drought in the Power 5?
Nebraska? How many years?
Since 2016.
Okay.
So they've missed 6 consecutive bowl games. Rutgers has been to a bowl game since Nebraska has been to a bowl game.
Now, in Nebraska's defense, Rutgers got invited at 5-7.
5-8. Yeah, 5-7. I'm sorry. You're right. 5-7. Then they went 5-8. Kansas has been to a bowl game since Nebraska.
So that was one of the best bowl games all of last bowl season.
Yes.
And that was an incredible game last year against Arkansas. Or earlier, was it? I guess it would have been December against Arkansas.
So you've answered the other questions. Could this be the year that Nebraska wins its first conference championship since 1999? Plays in its first conference championship game since 2012. Its second year in the Big Ten. On to the
So
Golden
far, the
Gophers.
only one that I think will happen is the Illinois getting to 8 wins for
Yes.
consecutive years for the first time since 1990. Keeping track here.
Minnesota. Listen to this. PJ Fleck, a little feather in the cap here. Minnesota's won 6 consecutive bowl games. They could win a 7th consecutive bowl game for the first time in school history.
So that's such a hard one to predict.
Yeah, because we don't know who they're going to play in a bowl
Yeah,
game.
it's almost
Yeah.
impossible. I'd say sure. I mean, they've got it rolling there. You could say that at some point the odds are against them, but
yeah. And,
sure.
and the worse they are, the worse of a team they're going to play. You know,
Yes.
they could run into it's not like they've played a murderer's row of postseason opponents. You know,
Who'd they play
Syracuse, Georgia
Syracuse.
Tech. Yeah. so PJ, you know,
Who'd they
West
get
Virginia.
West Virginia. I was gonna say 2 years ago it was West Virginia.
That's 3 of them. What would his other one be? Oh, they beat a really good Auburn team. That was their one nice win, 2019. And ironically, they had lost the previous 7 consecutive bowl games before that. Could this be the year that Minnesota reaches its first Big Ten championship game?
No.
Wins the Big Ten since 1967.
No.
All right. Could this be the year that Minnesota loses a non-conference game versus the Power 5? They have posted 9 consecutive wins.
Really? That's a good stat. 9 consecutive wins against Power 5 teams outside of the Big Ten?
Yes.
Wait, does that include bowl games?
Maybe. Yeah, I think it would have to. The last time I made these notes a long time ago. Now I forget.
Okay.
They lost to TCU in 2015. They have won all of the games since. But they've got North Carolina on the road week 2 or 3.
Yeah, I'd have to say that streak's going to be broken.
Ooh,
I would
that's
have to
be
think.
a good game. I'm looking forward to that game.
That's week 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Looking forward to that because I think people are writing off Minnesota. They think
I'm not writing them off. I just think they do not have the schedule that Wisconsin, Iowa, and Illinois have, and they did lose a lot. I think the losses of Ibrahim and I mean they lost some players, and you know, we'll see. I mean, if Fleck has done a great job just kind of plugging and playing up front, but at some point you think that's gonna catch up to you.
Brian, thank you so much for the contribution there. So hit the like button. Join the Swarm. Is that a thing? The Swarm?
The Swarm. That's the Iowa Collective.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Yep.
I knew I had heard that somewhere. I thought that was connected to you in some way.
I appreciate the what's the upside logo from one of our shirts or sweatshirts. I can't quite tell what that's off of. It looks like a sweatshirt. So appreciate that, Brian.
And then check out Corey's cool merch. Yes, do that. From the Hawkeye of the Storm. What's the best way to do that? To get some merch?
Yeah, you can. So our merch store is on Spreadshop. So if you head over to my channel, click on any of the descriptions, there's a link to the store.
And lastly, for the Golden Gophers, could this be the year that Minnesota defeats Wisconsin for a 3rd consecutive season for the first time since 1984, 5, 6, and 7?
Where does that game be? Is that in Minneapolis or in Madison? It's got to be in Madison.
I don't know for sure.
No, I think that's in. This will be the 3rd straight year.
Yes, they've beaten them the last 2 years.
It has to be in Minneapolis because 2 years ago, I remember when Minnesota beat Wisconsin and that secured the West for Iowa. That game was in Minneapolis. So, boy, that's a tough one. I'll say no, just because I still have more confidence in personnel at Wisconsin, especially late in the. That's last game of the season. By that point, I think Fickle and that staff has things. I don't want to say rolling. I don't know where they'll be in late November, but I'll say no because I still have a lot of personnel questions for Minnesota.
On Wisconsin, is this the year Wisconsin wins its first division title since 2019?
That's not really. Okay. No.
Yeah, they've missed 3 years.
No, I don't think so.
their first Big Ten championship since 2012. That was a bit of an odd Big Ten championship because they finished third in the division, but won the Big Ten championship. Do you remember the circumstances surrounding that situation?
That was in 2012.
Yes.
Who did they play? Nebraska.
Yes.
They were
So
third in the Legends division.
I couldn't keep track
Or was
of
that
them.
leaders?
Yes, whichever. The one with Ohio State, Penn State.
I don't remember. What were the circumstances in 12?
So Ohio State went undefeated. They were 12-0, but
Okay.
they were on probation for 1 year. That was Urban Meyer's first season.
Okay.
So they were ineligible. Penn State finished second. They were 8-4
Oh.
overall. They were 6-2 in the conference. So Wisconsin at 4-4 in
Wow.
the conference went to the conference championship game and won. Went to the Rose Bowl. Finished 8-6 that year.
So they lost the Rose Bowl.
Yes.
Who'd they play in the Rose Bowl?
Stanford.
So Penn State was on probation, correct? From
And
the
Ohio State.
Sandusky
Yeah.
stuff. I forgot those two teams were on probation at the same time. That's
Yeah, the two top seeds in the conference. It's kind of strange.
In the division.
Yes.
In the division. Yeah.
Will this be the first time since 20? I don't have a date here, unfortunately. Wisconsin, though, is gunning for a fourth consecutive bowl win.
Okay.
Would be finishing in the top 10 if they were able to do that for the first time since 2017. Wisconsin is 8-1 in its last 9 bowl games.